Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive, and you know how I love to dig into these stories.
You do, you do.
So we're going to be looking at these two early Muslims, two brothers actually,
Oh, interesting.
Khunais and Abdullah ibn Hudhafa. Have you heard of them?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, not exactly household names, right? But
Yeah.
stick with us because their stories are incredible.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
We've got these two biographical lectures,
Oh, okay.
and honestly, I think after going through them, you'll agree that, I mean, they give us this whole new perspective on what those early days of Islam were like, all those challenges, all those triumphs. It's like we're uncovering these, I don't know, these hidden figures, you know? Their contributions were so vital,
Yeah.
but their names, I don't know, maybe they got a little lost in the shuffle with all the, with all the more famous figures at the time, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of these deep dives, right? It's finding those hidden gems, those stories that don't always make it to the forefront.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, but they're just as crucial to understanding the broader narrative.
For sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
Khunais, he converted like super early.
Really?
Even before Dar al-Arqam, which I'm sure you know was like the meeting place
Right.
for early Muslims in Mecca.
Yeah.
This wasn't just, some casual decision, right? This was like
Yeah.
a powerful statement of belief. And you have to remember, this was when the Muslim community was just like barely getting started.
Yeah. I mean, that's fascinating. To be one of the first 20 converts,
I know, right?
even before the prophet started his public preaching, I mean, that says so much about his conviction.
Absolutely.
Just imagine, like, converting to a new faith
Yeah.
when it was far from popular. Like, you could face backlash from
That's
your
a-
own community.
Persecution.
Exactly.
And he did. He faced a lot of that.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, like, what was it that drew him to Islam so powerfully?
Right.
And it's such an early stage.
Right.
And, it wasn't just a personal journey for him either.
Yeah.
It actually brought a lot of other people to the faith, too.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, who did he bring?
Well, he convinced a bunch of his family members
Okay.
to convert, including he had two younger brothers, Abdullah and Qais,
Wow.
and then
Wow.
a number of cousins, too.
So he was really influential,
Oh, yeah, big time.
even at a young age.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, how important family and clan ties were back then, right? Like that was
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
And he's like, no, this is the truth. This is what I believe in.
Right. So he's like a leader within his family even before he becomes like a leader in the broader Muslim community.
Exactly, exactly. And speaking of community,
Yeah.
he migrated to Abyssinia, right?
Oh, right.
To escape the persecution.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows how committed he was to protecting
Absolutely.
not just his own faith, but
Yeah.
the faith of others too, right?
Right. Yeah, and that migration, I mean, that was no small feat. That was a perilous journey across the Red Sea, and he took on the responsibility
Oh, I know.
of keeping everyone safe.
It's like he was paving the way,
Oh, right.
for others to practice their faith freely
Exactly.
without fear.
Yeah.
And okay, this is where things get kind of interesting.
Okay.
This gives us a little glimpse into his character.
Okay.
He was married to Hafsa,
Uh-huh.
the daughter of Umar ibn al-Khattab,
Oh, wow.
before Umar converted to Islam.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
I mean, that's huge.
Right. Umar, even before he was Muslim, was known for like
Yeah.
his strong personality,
His
judgment.
Yeah.
Right. So for him to trust his daughter to Khunais, I mean, that says something
It really does.
about the respect that
Yeah.
he had for him.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, what were those early days like? Before Umar.
I know, right? Can you imagine?
The family gatherings.
Yeah. A little tension, maybe.
Oh, I'm sure. But also, you have to wonder if that relationship, Khunais being his son-in-law,
Yeah.
maybe that played a role in softening Umar's stance towards Islam,
Yeah.
Maybe it even, contributed to him converting later on.
It's possible.
Right. And then, of course, he goes on to play this pivotal role
Huge.
in building the Muslim community.
Huge role.
Yeah. It's amazing how those personal connections can, like, shape the course of history.
I know, right? We always talk about the big events, but it's those little
That's- yeah,
connections.
absolutely.
Right. That makes such a difference.
Yeah. And speaking of those big events,
Yeah.
Khunais was at the Battle of Badr.
Oh, yeah. And what's amazing about that is that he was the only one from his clan to fight with the Muslims.
Wow.
How about that?
That takes some serious courage
I know, right?
to stand against your own kin.
Like, loyalty to your clan back then, that was everything.
It was everything.
And he chose his faith over that.
Wow.
It really shows you how strong.
His conviction was,
Yeah.
and he survived Badr,
Oh,
but later on, he was fatally wounded at the Battle of Uhud.
oh, wow.
It's a reminder that, they faced real danger.
Yes.
Those early Muslims, I mean, they were willing to put everything on the line for their faith.
And, his death, it wasn't just a personal loss.
No, it's a loss for the whole community.
It was a loss for the whole community.
Yeah.
And to highlight that, the Prophet Muhammad, he led the funeral prayer for Khunais.
Oh, wow.
And he was buried in Al-Baqi Cemetery in Medina next to Uthman ibn Madun.
Another one of the beloved companions,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That is powerful.
It is.
To be buried.
It really shows you how much respect
Yeah.
he had earned.
Yeah. Okay, so now we come to his younger brother,
Okay.
Abdullah. He wasn't old enough to fight in those early battles.
Right.
But his story, let me tell you,
Yeah.
it's equally compelling.
Okay.
It shows us, another side
Yeah.
of what it meant to be resilient and have faith in the face of, extraordinary challenges.
Okay, I'm interested to hear about this one.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
So Abdullah, his story, it's all about the personal struggles
Yeah.
that some early Muslims went through, especially when they came face to face with these powerful empires
Oh, yeah.
that saw Islam as this threat.
Brody?
He
Yeah.
had these incredible run-ins
Oh, yeah, right.
with two of the biggest rulers of his time,
Yeah.
Khosrow II of Persia
Mm-hmm.
and Emperor Heraclius of the Byzantine Empire.
Talk about a historical thriller.
Right.
Right. These weren't just meet and greets.
Oh, no.
These were high stakes
Absolutely.
encounters. Right.
Yeah.
And the whole future of the Muslim community kind of hung in the balance.
Exactly. Let's start with Khosrow. Abdullah was sent to him with a letter from the Prophet Muhammad inviting him to Islam.
Okay.
And this wasn't just some diplomatic thing.
No.
This was a straight-up challenge
Yeah.
to one of the most powerful empires in the world.
I can only imagine, the courage it must take him
Oh, yeah.
to stand there before Khosrow,
Actually,
knowing what could happen.
yeah, and the message itself wasn't exactly subtle either.
No. What did it say?
It was basically a bold declaration that Islam was the truth, and it called on Khosrow to submit to God's will.
Whoa. Okay. So how'd that go over?
As you might expect, Khosrow, all caught up in his imperial power and his Zoroastrian beliefs, he wasn't too thrilled.
A bit not.
He tore the letter up in a rage.
You can just feel the tension.
Oh, totally.
Right, in that room.
And Abdullah, far from being intimidated,
Yeah.
he basically predicts the downfall of Khosrow's kingdom.
No way.
If he doesn't, heed the message.
Talk about audacious.
Right. It was a bold statement, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But it shows you how strong his faith was, his conviction,
Mm.
and, eventually Khosrow's empire did fall apart,
Mhm.
although not right away. But that's just the beginning.
Okay.
That encounter with Khosrow, it was just a warm-up for his
Yeah.
capture by the Byzantine Empire.
Oh, boy.
Now we're talking about a whole other level.
Yeah.
The Byzantine Empire at its peak.
Yeah.
Ruled by Heraclius, a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I know. He had just restored the empire to, its former glory.
Exactly. And Heraclius, much like Khosrow, he saw Islam as this dangerous threat to his power, his authority. And he was determined to break Abdullah and make an example of him.
Oh.
So first he tries to tempt him
Right.
with worldly riches,
Like what?
like half his kingdom, if
Wow.
he'll just renounce Islam.
It's like something out of the Bible.
Right. Power, wealth,
Yeah.
in exchange for abandoning your faith.
What do you say?
He flat out refused.
Wait-
He wasn't swayed by all that
Wow.
possessions, promises of power.
Yeah.
His faith was unshakable. He
Yeah.
wasn't going to compromise it for anything.
It's incredible.
But Heraclius was a smart guy.
Yeah.
So he tries a different tactic.
What's that?
Temptation.
Oh, okay.
He brings in these beautiful women, Right. trying to seduce Abdullah,
Oh, wow.
hoping to break his resolve.
And-
Abdullah stood firm.
wow.
His faith wasn't about, fleeting pleasures.
Yeah.
It was about something way deeper.
Yeah.
Something beyond physical
It
temptation.
makes you realize those early Muslims, they weren't just passively accepting their faith. They were
Yeah.
choosing it,
Right.
even when things got really, really tough.
Exactly. But Heraclius, he sees these tactics aren't working, so
Yeah.
he gets a lot more brutal.
Oh, boy. What do you do?
Imprisonment, starvation,
Yeah.
deprivation of water, trying to break him through, sheer physical suffering.
Yeah.
But Abdullah, he doesn't budge. His
Right.
body was weak,
Yeah.
but his spirit, that stayed strong.
It's like a testament to the strength of his beliefs.
Absolutely. And this is where things get really dark. Heraclius, he's desperate to break him.
Yeah.
So he comes up with this gruesome test.
Oh, no. What is it?
He orders this huge cauldron of oil
Okay.
to be heated up, like, till it's boiling.
Boiling oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to really scare Abdullah,
Mm-hmm.
he has another Muslim prisoner brought out
Oh, jeez.
and thrown into the cauldron right in front of him.
Oh, my gosh. That's just awful.
Awful.
You can just imagine.
You can practically hear the screams.
Yeah.
The smell of burning flesh.
What a horrible, like, psychological tactic.
And they come for Abdullah to throw him in,
Mhm.
and he starts to cry.
Oh, no.
And Heraclius, he thinks, I finally broke him.
Yeah.
But he has him brought down.
Yeah.
And asks him, why are you crying?
Yeah.
And Abdullah's response, well, that's what makes him so extraordinary.
What do you say?
He said he wasn't crying out of fear.
Hmm.
He was crying because he wished he had 100 lives to sacrifice for Allah.
Wow.
He was sad that he only had one life to give.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about flipping the script.
Right. Heraclius thought he was seeing weakness,
Yeah.
but it was actually this incredible display of faith
Mm.
and commitment.
Heraclius must have been stunned.
He was completely stunned.
Yeah.
He realized he could never break this man.
Mm.
Abdullah's faith was just too strong.
Yeah. So what happened next?
So Heraclius, trying to, save face,
Mm-hmm.
he offers Abdullah his freedom,
Okay.
but in exchange for one little thing,
What's that?
a kiss on the forehead.
Really?
Mhm.
After all of that, torture, threats of death,
Yep.
a kiss on the forehead?
It seems anticlimactic, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
But you got to remember, this
Right.
was all about power.
Yeah.
Heraclius was trying to regain some control,
Yeah.
assert his dominance, even though he failed.
Okay. So did Abdullah do it?
Well, at first he refused.
Okay.
He didn't want to kiss Heraclius' forehead,
Mhm.
and he didn't want Heraclius to kiss his.
Ah.
Heraclius, always the strategist, he starts bargaining.
What do you offer?
Okay, so he says he'll release 60 Muslim captives
Okay.
if Abdullah will kiss his forehead.
Wow. So it's a negotiation now.
Right. It's
Okay.
gone from this brutal test of faith
Yeah.
to, like, a bargaining table.
And what did Abdullah say?
He didn't budge.
Really?
He said he'd only do it
Huh.
if all 300 Muslim captives were released.
Whoa. He wouldn't even compromise to save his fellow Muslims.
Nope. He stuck to his principles,
Yeah.
demanding justice for all of
It was a
them.
bold move.
Yeah, especially since he was still a captive.
Yeah.
But did Heraclius agree?
I mean, he had to, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He had no other choice.
Yeah.
He couldn't break Abdullah,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't risk any more embarrassment.
Right.
So all 300 were set free.
What a victory.
Incredible victory
Yeah.
for Abdullah and for the Muslims.
Absolutely. So they go back to Medina,
Mm-hmm.
and this whole ordeal, it wasn't just forgotten, right?
No, not at all. Umar ibn al-Khattab, now a powerful leader in the Muslim community,
Yeah.
he wanted to honor Abdullah.
Okay.
So he went up to him in front of everybody
Yeah.
and kissed him on the forehead.
Really?
The very gesture
Wow.
that Heraclius had demanded.
What a moment.
Right.
The leader of the Muslims
Yeah.
honoring a former captive.
It says a lot about early Islam.
Yeah.
Humility,
Mm.
respect,
Mm.
recognition for those who stood strong,
Yeah.
even when things were really rough.
Yeah. And it's the opposite of
Right.
how Heraclius meant it.
Totally. It was supposed to be a sign of submission,
Yeah.
but instead it became this symbol of defiance, a
Yeah.
testament to faith,
Mm.
triumphing over tyranny.
It shows that real strength
Yeah.
isn't about, like, brute force.
Right.
It's about the unwavering belief.
It's about conviction
Yeah.
and your values.
Absolutely. And it shows that even, like, ordinary people
Mm-hmm.
can have a huge impact
They really can.
on history.
Yeah. Okay. So we've covered a lot here.
I know, right? Abyssinia, emperors, boiling oil, kisses on the forehead.
Yeah. As a listener, what's standing out to you so far?
You know, it's amazing when you think about it.
What's that?
These two brothers, Khunais and Abdullah,
Yeah.
they're like, they embody these different parts
Okay.
of early Islam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see that.
You've got Khunais, he's like the community builder,
Mhm.
leading his family, bringing others to a new land,
Right.
a new faith, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got Abdullah
Mm-hmm.
standing up to these empires.
Right.
His strength is tested on this, like, deeply personal level.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because their stories, they're unique, right?
Yeah.
But they're also connected. I think it's that thread of knowledge and legacy, you know?
Okay.
Like, Khunais, he brings his younger brother into Islam.
Yeah.
So, in a way, he becomes Abdullah's first, like, mentor.
Oh, that's a good point.
In the faith, right. So his influence, it must have, like, really shaped Abdullah's worldview. And that contributed to, like, the unwavering conviction that we see later.
You know, it's like Khunais built this foundation.
Yeah.
And Abdullah, he builds on top of it.
I like that.
Right. And you wonder, like, when Abdullah's going through all those trials, if he ever thought back to his brother.
To his example, yeah.
Yeah, and drew strength from that.
It's possible we see that kind of thing all the time in history.
Totally.
People being inspired by those who came before them, right?
Yeah, carrying the torch.
Passing it down.
And it makes you think about early Islam.
Yeah.
This idea of mentorship.
Yeah.
Passing knowledge from one generation to the next.
It was so important back then.
It wasn't just about, like, memorizing verses.
Right.
It was about understanding, like, the essence of Islam.
Yeah, the core values.
Right. How to actually live those values.
Yeah, in a world that wasn't always so friendly.
Yeah, that was often very hostile.
And it wasn't just in, like, mosques or schools or...
Yeah, it was everywhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, families, friends, the whole community.
Yeah, they were all working together.
Right, to preserve that knowledge, pass it down.
It's pretty amazing, you know?
And you know what? It's still relevant today.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, like, think about it. We're bombarded with information now.
I know, right?
Everyone's got a platform. Everyone's got an opinion.
It's hard to know what to believe.
It really is. And that's why we need good mentors.
Yeah, people to guide us.
Yeah, to help us see through all the noise.
Separate the truth from the lies, right?
Exactly. And to inspire us to, like, live with purpose.
Right, with meaning.
Yeah, based on, you know, values that actually matter.
Not just the latest trends.
Exactly.
We need to find those people who embody the qualities that we, like, admire.
Right.
Who challenge us to think.
Yeah.
And to be our best selves.
And, you know, we may not all face, like, crazy trials like Abdullah did.
Right.
But we all have those moments where our values are tested.
Yeah.
You know, do we stand up for what's right?
Yeah.
Do we speak truth to power?
Are we kind?
Yeah, even in our everyday interactions.
It's all connected.
It is. Khunais and Abdullah, they remind us that real strength, it's not about being physically strong.
Right.
It's about being strong on the inside.
Yeah. Holding on to your values.
Yeah, even when it's hard.
Even when it's like the whole world against you.
Right, and they show us that even, like, regular people can leave these amazing legacies behind.
Their impact, it ripples out.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the lives of Khunais and Abdullah, I want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
What will your legacy be?
That's a good one.
How will you inspire others to live with courage, conviction, and compassion?
Beautifully said. And on that note, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
Into the lives of these two remarkable figures from early Islam. May their stories inspire us all to live lives of purpose and meaning, and to leave this world a little brighter than we found it.